Welcome to a world where the ordinary turns terrifying. Today we dive into 3 creepy true school lockdown stories that will send chills down your spine. These are the stories that linger in the back of your mind, the whispers in the dark that make you question everything you thought you knew. They say school is supposed to be a safe haven, but what happens when the walls close in and the familiar becomes frightening? Lock the doors, turn off the lights, and prepare yourself, because these stories are not for the faint of heart. It was a seemingly normal Tuesday at Northwood High. Students shuffled through the halls, the air abuzz with the usual teenage chatter. But at precisely 10:15 a.m., that normalcy shattered. A shrill alarm pierced the air, the unmistakable sound of a lockdown procedure. Teachers scrambled, ushering students into classrooms, locking doors and drawing the blinds, plunging the rooms into an eerie semi-darkness. Whispers of confusion quickly turned to fear as the voice on the PA system crackled to life, announcing a potential threat on school grounds. Students huddled together, their eyes darting nervously toward the door, their imaginations running wild with what might be lurking outside. Minutes stretched into an eternity, each tick of the clock amplifying the tension. Then the first whispers began. Students in different classrooms, on different floors, all reported seeing the same thing: a shadowy figure, tall and gaunt, peering through the windows in the hallway. One student described a chilling grin plastered across the figure's face, while another swore they saw a glint of metal in its hand. Panic spread like wildfire through the locked-down school. Teachers, though equally terrified, tried to maintain calm, assuring their students it was just a prank, a cruel joke gone too far. But deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted. The descriptions were too similar, too detailed to be dismissed as mere imagination. The police arrived, sirens wailing, their faces grim as they swept through the school, their every move punctuated by the clatter of their boots against the linoleum floor. Classroom by classroom, they checked, but the mysterious figure was nowhere to be found. The lockdown was lifted, but the sense of unease lingered. Who was the mysterious stranger? Was it just a prank? Or was there something more sinister at play? The questions hung heavy in the air, unanswered, leaving an indelible mark on the psyche of Northwood High. Even today, years later, students and teachers alike still talk about the lockdown, the memory of the shadowy figure forever etched into the annals of the school's history. Some dismiss it as a collective hallucination, a byproduct of fear and anxiety. Others believe it was a real threat, one that vanished as quickly as it appeared. But whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: the mystery of the shadowy figure continues to haunt the halls of Northwood High, a chilling reminder that even in the supposed safety of our schools, darkness can lurk just around the corner. The gymnasium at Westlake Middle School was a hive of activity. Students were scattered across the bleachers, a sea of restless energy as they waited for the annual lockdown drill to commence. Among them was 13-year-old Emily Carter, her laughter echoing through the gym as she chatted with her friends. When the alarm sounded, signaling the start of the drill, Emily, like everyone else, dutifully followed her teacher's instructions, filing into the designated safe room, a small windowless storage closet tucked away at the back of the gym. The minutes ticked by, filled with the muffled whispers of her classmates and the occasional cough. But as the drill neared its end, Emily realized something was wrong. She couldn't find her best friend Sarah anywhere. Panic welled up inside her as she frantically searched the faces of her classmates, but Sarah was gone. When the all-clear signal finally sounded, Emily wasted no time in alerting her teachers. A search party was quickly assembled, their worried faces illuminated by the flashing lights of the emergency exits. They scoured every nook and cranny of the school, their calls of Emily's name echoing through the empty hallways. But there was no sign of her. Hours turned into days, and still there was no trace of Emily. The police were called, and the story made headlines. The image of Emily's smiling face plastered across missing person posters. The community was in an uproar, desperate for answers, desperate for her safe return. Then, just as suddenly as she'd vanished, Emily reappeared. 3 days after the lockdown drill, she was found wandering aimlessly down a deserted country road, miles from Westlake Middle. She was disoriented, confused, and had no memory of how she got there or what had happened to her. The police were baffled. Emily's parents were overjoyed to have their daughter back, but the mystery of her disappearance lingered. What had happened to Emily during those 3 days? Where had she gone? And why couldn't she remember anything? Some whispered about abductions, of sinister figures lurking in the shadows, preying on the vulnerable. Others speculated about hidden passageways within the school, secret rooms where Emily might have been accidentally trapped. But the truth, like Emily's memories, remained elusive. The Vanishing Student, as the case came to be known, became a chilling reminder that even in the most ordinary of circumstances, the unexpected can happen, and sometimes the answers we seek are the ones we may never find. The air at Crestwood Elementary was thick with the scent of crayons and anticipation. It was a Friday afternoon, and the students were minutes away from the sweet release of the weekend. But the usual end-of-day buzz was abruptly silenced by the piercing shriek of the fire alarm. Teachers, trained for such situations, sprang into action, guiding their young charges out of the building and into the designated assembly areas. As the students huddled together on the sprawling front lawn, their faces a mixture of confusion and excitement, the fire alarm fell silent. But just as quickly as it had stopped, a different sound filled the air. It was the school's PA system, but instead of the familiar voice of Principal Thompson, a series of distorted, guttural sounds emanated from the speakers. The students fell silent, their eyes wide with a mixture of curiosity and fear. Teachers exchanged uneasy glances, unsure of what to make of the strange broadcast. The sound grew louder, morphing into a series of high-pitched squeals and static, punctuated by what sounded like muffled whispers. Some children began to cry, their small hands clutching at their teachers' legs, seeking comfort in the face of the unknown. The teachers, their own unease growing, tried to reassure their students, telling them it was probably just a technical malfunction, a glitch in the system. But deep down, a shiver of unease ran down their spines. The sound continued for what felt like an eternity, a cacophony of unsettling noises that seemed to claw at the edges of their sanity. Then, as abruptly as it had begun, it stopped. Silence descended upon the assembled students and teachers, broken only by the sound of their own breathing and the distant chirping of birds. The fire department arrived, sirens blaring, but after a thorough inspection, they found no signs of fire or any other emergency. The source of the Eerie Announcement remained a mystery. Technicians examined the PA system, but they couldn't find any evidence of tampering or malfunction. The strange broadcast became a chilling legend whispered among the students, a tale of the day the school's PA system seemed to come alive with a voice not of this world. Some dismissed it as a prank, a cruel joke played by a tech-savvy student. Others whispered about hackers, of unseen forces invading their safe space. But whatever the explanation, the Eerie Announcement left an indelible mark on Crestwood Elementary, a reminder that even in the most innocent of places, darkness can find a voice. These stories remind us that sometimes the scariest things happen in the places we feel safest. Schools, meant to be havens of learning and growth, can sometimes become stages for the unexplainable. The next time you hear a lockdown alarm, or find yourself alone in a darkened hallway, remember these tales. Remember that the line between reality and nightmare can be thin, and that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we can't see or explain. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-chilling tales. Stay safe and stay vigilant.